What's happening? What's happening this Saturday night? You know what time it is.
What's up, everybody?
It is time for another episode of Have a Conversation After Dark. If this is your first time, first of all, welcome. Second of all, go back and watch the other episodes.
Yes.
Third of all, share this. This is for everybody who's here. And fourth, this is a show about conversation. We try to stay away from giving advice. That's very hard for us to do because of who we are and what we do. However, this is about getting you to talk more. So generally what we do is we throw a topic up in the air. We let everybody swing at it in the comments. We have a good time discussing it. And the goal is to get you to talk more. Now, sometimes these topics come out of our experience with the couples that we are blessed to serve. Sometimes these topics come out of things that we've read about. Sometimes they are just topics that we feel like people just don't talk about, whether it be in church or other places. And so if you are here, shout us out. Or not shout us out. Well, yeah, shout us out.
You can shout us out.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll take it.
But what I was going to say is if you're here, shout yourself out in the comments. If you're watching the replay, let us know that as well. So it's been a long day.
It has. So we're not going to be on
for
here
my wife in particular. Shout out to my wife who has been a part of a weekend conference, and she spoke today. She's one of the speakers and spoke today. So shout out to her. I wish these applause worked. I don't know if they can hear. We can hear it. I don't know if you can hear it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I'm running it through a different thing now.
Okay.
But shout out to wifey on her speaking engagement. So it's been a long day, and as you can see, she's yawning and tired. So
sorry.
We're not going to be here too long. But if you saw the title and the description, the title is give my spouse a dress code? Simple question that I'm going to ask. And hopefully, typically people start trickling in, and usually the comment section starts buzzing,
Mhm.
a few minutes in. So hopefully the comment section will start buzzing. But here's a question that I have for you and for everybody as they come in.
Mhm.
The question is it okay for me to require you to
Mm.
adhere to a dress code?
You're using those.
I'm using words on purpose. Is it okay for me to require you to adhere to
Mm.
a dress code? I'm going to leave it open ended, and then I'm going to talk about some things that maybe will help folk to give their input. But what do you
Well,
think?
that sounds kind of bossy to me.
That sounds bossy.
And you're not the boss of me.
Mhm. I'm well aware of that. I'm well aware of that.
No, I think I just think that that's no, it's not okay.
It's not okay. So if I take away the words require and adhere,
Adhere.
is there a nicer way to say that would actually be acceptable? Here, let me share with you what I'm thinking, right?
Mhm.
So let me give a scenario. And I'm going to give a scenario from the man's perspective, but it applies both ways. And maybe I'll
Mhm.
even, just to be fair, I'll give some both sides scenario. But so can I say to you that something is too low cut, or your skirt is too short, or your outfit is too tight, or the list goes on and
Yeah.
on, or vice versa? Those gray sweatpants are showing too much. The muscle shirt, you don't need to wear a muscle shirt to church. Whatever the case is, like, can you require your spouse to adhere to a dress code?
I think there's a way to say it. I think that if you are being bossy and I'm demanding, I'm requiring that you adhere to this dress code. You ain't going to be wearing nothing else. I'm
Okay.
not going to respond to that
Okay.
at all.
So if I say it nicely and I am not confrontational, but I say, hey, babe, listen, what you got on right now is going to garner way too much attention. I'm not comfortable with that.
Mhm.
Can you not wear that?
I think that I would. I think I would not wear it.
Okay. Interesting.
I think I would not wear it. I
Okay.
think.
You think? Okay.
I think only because you know what I always say. It's not to do with it's only because I just want peace between us.
Mm. But not necessarily because you agree that I should dictate that.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think. I
That's
don't know.
fair.
I'm on the fence.
All right. Gamal said my wife told me my shirt was too tight last week.
Did
But
you still wear it?
yeah, that's what I'm about to say. But did she just say that and that was it, or did she say, "Hey, bro, you can't wear that. Like, you got to take that off. Go change."
Yeah.
Mimi, shout out to Mimi in the house. Shout out to
What's up,
Gamal in the
Mimi?
house as well. Mimi said, "Yes, you can make observations and suggestions, but not command and
Control,
control."
because that sounds very controlling, right?
So Mimi, this is I think your first time being here. I think, if I'm wrong, forgive me.
Mm-hmm.
I there are some words that I use on purpose during these sessions.
Mimi.
So require and adhere, I know that they're trigger words. That's why I use them.
Mimi, you just
I
have
use
to
that on
pray
purpose.
for me, okay?
I use that on purpose. Gamal said I took it off and kept it moving because why not? My ego isn't built like that.
And
Okay.
that's what I'm saying. I think that if you were to say something
You would say, yes, it is.
in a good way
Mhm.
to me, I would just take it off
Okay.
because I want peace between us.
Okay.
However, I to add to that, we would have to have a conversation
And about what?
because I would be like, you know, I'm not trying to garner this attention. I like how I look.
Hmm.
What are you insecure? What's the issue? What's going on? Do you know what I mean?
Okay. Hmm.
We would have to have that conversation. But at the end of the day, I would take it off because I'm not I just want peace between us.
That's
It's not
that's
that
um
big of a deal to me
that's very big of you. That's very
because
mature of you.
you wouldn't.
I don't know. I mean, and I'm coming from my vantage point. My vantage point is where we are in our marriage now.
Right. And that's the thing.
So early in our marriage, I probably would feel some kind of way. So let's be clear.
Feel some kind of way about what? Me asking you to not wear it or me wearing something and you having feeling like you have to ask me.
Both, as much as a double standard that is, but both.
That is a
I,
double
I, I
standard.
probably would. I don't know. I'm thinking back to who I was back then and my thought pattern. Now I don't care. You can go outside naked for all I care. Like I'm good. Do you like I at this point there are just certain things that just don't that don't really I'm not going to put energy towards, right?
Yeah.
Now, having said that though, is there even if you are that person who is just liberal, I'm going to use that word again for shock value.
Hmm.
Is there a is there a line that could not be crossed, right? So I jokingly was like, yeah, you can go outside naked, but that's a line. So is there a line that for you, I'm talking personally for me, is there a line that I cannot cross? I ain't gonna be out here in speedos. Let's be clear about that. But is there a line that you would be like, hey, listen, dude, like,
Here's the thing. You knew who number 1,
mhm,
you knew who you were marrying. They're not
mm,
going to all of a sudden, maybe they are. Typically, they're not going to all of a sudden switch up the way they're dressing.
that's a good point.
Number 1.
That's a good point.
Yeah, you knew who you were marrying, so did the wardrobe change? And if so, why? That's what I would ask. What's going on? Why are you
So
dressing like this all of a sudden?
so you knew she was spilling out consistently.
I'm sure
So
you would have had to have seen that at some point in time.
does that mean that he just has to deal with it because he knew that? Or can he evolve to the point where he's like, wait a minute, all this attention that you getting every time you go somewhere, I listen, I love it, and you deserve all of it because you are dope.
Hmm.
We got to tone that down.
Why now?
I don't know. He just feels some kind of way now. He's different,
I don't know. I guess we'd have to have the
or
conversation.
or vice versa, right? So you saw me in the gray sweats, and that was a turn on because you could see the imprint all the time, and now I'm in the mall with the imprint, and girls are like doing double takes while you next to me. You're like, listen, fam, I love it, but that's a lot. Like we got to do something different.
But I feel like again, if that's what you're not putting on these sweats that show imprints after the fact. If I know, I should have known that that's what you wear and the attention is not going to now come just because we're married. The attention from other women would have always been there.
Yeah,
And I knew that.
but check this out. What if in the beginning the attention was always there, but for you that was an ego booster because you like, yeah, that's my guy. I see you looking. I saw you look just now, but this me, right?
Yeah, it's
But
still
then down the line, now you're a little bit more mature in your relationship, and you're like, okay, listen, I already know it's me. I don't need any validation from all the chicks in the mall.
I don't
So let's switch it up.
I don't think that I would, even if that was the case. I already know it's me. I don't need the validation. I'm not gonna now say something.
Interesting. Okay.
I don't feel like I would now say something. Do you? You're coming home with me tonight. So
Hey, listen, I love it.
It is what it is.
If you like it, I love it.
If that's how you want to dress.
Mimi said, I think husbands, boyfriends look at their partners the way they see other men may look at them, and they don't like other men eyeing their women. Not
Insecurity
insecurity
per se.
per se. Okay.
I
Now,
think.
I don't want this to be one sided because it's, women may feel some kind of way too. Why are you wearing that? I was watching this video where the chick was like, "Why you got on cologne? Like you don't never wear cologne. Who you about to be wearing cologne for? Like little stuff, right? You're not even clothes. Sometimes it's just
Mm.
I don't want you to get that attention, so you can't do that kind of thing."
How would you feel though if that was me? If that were me, I was going out maybe with my girlfriends or something, and I had
Hmm.
on a top that was, lifting the girls up a little bit
Hmm.
and showing a little bit more cleavage than normal. My skirt was a little bit shorter, not a little bit. My skirt was considerably shorter than typical, but I'm going out with the girls
I'm good with all of it.
because
I just am. I don't. I I'm trying to think back to when we first got married. Would I have a problem? I'm not. I don't even know if I would have a problem then. But for me,
I feel
right?
like you would in the beginning.
Maybe for me, I'm not, and I'm not saying everybody who responds this way is insecure. I'm not saying that,
Hmm.
but I'm not insecure. It will not bother me at all if you're getting that attention.
Yeah, I don't think it would bother me at all either if you
Now,
were.
here's where it would bother me. It would bother me if you were entertaining
Hmm.
the
Agreed.
attention.
Agreed.
That's a different ball game
Agreed.
altogether.
I agree.
If somebody's smiling at you and you smiling back
Of
and they like,
course.
you like, okay, so you like that, huh? You
Yeah,
know that
yeah,
kind of, yeah,
definitely.
yeah. That
That's
would be a
crossing the
different story.
line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Gamal said, is it fair to try to change someone after marriage?
That's my point,
Um,
right? Like
the quick answer to that question is no.
I, you, uh, it's not fair to try to change anyone. Period,
Yes.
because we can't.
Right. Now, will there be some evolution that takes place? Yes. But it may not be, the evolution may be in alignment with the growth of the relationship,
Yes,
not the fact that I'm trying to get you in alignment.
yes, the evolution will happen, but the evolution is still not my response. Your evolution is still
Mhm.
not my responsibility.
Got you.
It happens.
Hmm.
We both evolve, we both grow, and we might change throughout the course of their relationship, typically,
Hmm.
but it's still not my responsibility to change you or make you evolve.
Okay.
That's something that you have to, that's between you and God.
Okay. So then nobody. So for the couple that feels that way, what you just said is between you and God. It's not, you're not responsible for my evolution. You also can't get upset.
Yeah.
Okay. I just throw that out there. That's
Hmm.
the other side of that coin, right? Also, is this an issue of modesty or
Or
an
an issue
issue
of
of
security.
security?
Hmm.
Am I confident that
My
my
partner
partner
is
is loyal?
loyal. Right.
Yeah, and that's a good question, Gamal, because it could be both, right? So it could be one or the other, obviously, but it could be both. Now, I'm going out on a limb. I'm gonna go out on this limb by myself, even though I feel like it's strong enough to hold anybody else who wants to come out. But I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this: most people, no, I'm not gonna say most people. A lot of people who use the modesty argument
They're not being
are
truthful.
masking insecurity.
Mm,
I said that for argument's sake.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Okay.
They could literally be concerned about the modesty,
It,
in
it
my
could be.
opinion.
It could be.
In my opinion. But either way, a conversation needs to be had.
I agree with that.
Yeah. at the end of the day. Because how am I going to find out why don't you want me to wear this?
Right.
Then you would have to tell me because I don't want nobody looking at you like that. Or I just think that's kind of immodest. You
And-
got to have these
yeah.
conversations.
And this can be argued, especially for people of faith. What I'm about to say can be argued, but what I'm about to say is modesty is relative.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I think I would agree with that.
And the reason why I say that is because if you got a humongous behind
Hmm.
and you got really big breasts,
Hmm.
everything's gonna be tight on you.
No, that's not true.
What you gonna wear?
You can find clothes that fit your shape and it doesn't have to be tight. But it just depends on what you like to wear.
Okay.
Someone that has a really big behind does not have to wear tight fitting clothes. They can wear clothes that flare, A-line stuff, and it doesn't hug so much.
Okay. I agree. I agree. But it goes back to what you said, what they like to wear.
Yeah.
Like if a no, I'm not gonna go there. Never mind.
Don't.
Never mind.
Don't.
I'm not gonna say that.
Please don't.
It wasn't bad, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. So control is a characteristic of deep insecurity
Absolutely.
masked by the mind. I agree with that. I
By
agree
the
with that.
modesty topic.
Yep. I
I-
agree.
I think that it could be a characteristic.
It could be. Right. It could be.
Yeah.
The limb I'm going out on is that this is me. This is not statistically,
Yeah.
this is my opinion. I think in most cases that's the case.
I
In
don't
most
know.
cases. Because what I don't want is I don't want you to get the attention. What I don't want is I and if that's the case, that's insecurity. That's not, oh, I love the way you look and you look fantastic, but that's not modest.
Mm.
It's always, I don't want you to wear that because, not because it ain't modest, because I don't want that attention, or I don't, or I need to look a certain way. And if you look a certain way, that makes me not look a certain way.
What do you mean? Oh, you're
So,
talking about appearance.
right. So let's say,
Or-
for example, I'm a put Gamal on the spot only because he's a pastor. So I'm gonna use this pastor analogy, right? So I'm a pastor.
Mhm.
As a pastor, the congregation has to view me a certain way.
I see.
If you come in church with me and you looking like you went to the club, you just came out the club, then I'm looking crazy.
Mm.
And I ain't gonna be up there looking crazy. So I need you to do XYZ. That's not
Um,
modesty. That there's a reason behind that. The reason is I need to look a certain way.
mhm.
That's not modesty though. That's why I think in most cases it's
Is it insecurity?
well, in that case it might not be
No.
insecurity,
So
but
it's neither one of those.
right. But I'm saying it's not always modesty either.
Mhm.
I think we use the modesty title
Too much.
to
Too
rope in all of
broadly.
those other things.
Mm.
Gamal said, I feel that with evolution, there has to be some compromise. Wifey and I talked about our evolution just today. I'm starting out in stand-up comedy. That's dope, bro. Let me know where you are performing at. It's a huge change for her. It's not who she married.
Mm.
On her end, she doesn't want to keep me from growth and change. On the other end, I have to be considerate. I think this applies to just about everything. If you're trying new styles, you can be considerate and I can be tolerant. I like that. We can put ego aside and meet in the middle.
Yeah.
I'm with that.
Yeah.
I'm with that. That's dope, bro. A stand-up comedy joint. That's dope. I need to hear some stuff. Daniel said we're judged and respected by our dress code and how we present ourselves in public. We invite attention, sexual approaches, and flirting by our dress code. So if you respect your marriage, your family, and your relationship, you should dress to demand respect. What?
I mean I agree with that. I kind of agree with that, but
Mhm.
at the same time I think it's relative because what I feel like
Mhm.
looks okay may not garner the respect, may not garner respect from some people.
Yeah, you're right.
So
You're right.
I see where you're coming from and I get that. But what I feel like looks good,
Hmm.
or even us as a couple talking about, you know, representing and looking a certain way, we may not garner the respect from some people, but we
Hmm.
think we look great,
I agree with that.
So,
It's a touchy subject because you're going to get we're people of faith, right? So you're going to get a faith based perspective
hmm
that is uh, either based in scripture or based in traditionalism. Like
yeah,
you're supposed to look a certain way,
yeah,
right? Then you have what you said, that it's relative,
hmm
right? Then you have the fact that a lot of what we deem inappropriate is really socially constructed.
mm,
We don't want to admit that. Like I'm gonna
yeah.
say that, so I'll take the stones for anybody who may be thinking that but never will want to say it.
So it's
But
just a social
a
thing.
lot of what we deem inappropriate is a social construct.
Mm,
Because if it was a social construct to dress like that, nobody wouldn't say nothing,
mm,
right? And
mm,
I'm going to say something really, I'm going to give a really dumb example. And I know that it's off the wall and outlandish, but if, if, if it was socially constructed for us, for you to walk around with no shirt on,
mhm,
as it is in certain cultures in other countries,
mhm.
it wouldn't be no problem.
Yeah, I get that.
That's what I mean by that.
Mm, yeah,
So,
yeah.
you know,
To each his own, I guess.
listen, y'all got to have that conversation with y'all's mate. That's really what it boils down to. I'm not gonna give a right or wrong. I am with Daniel. I agree with Daniel that you have to think. So here's where I agree with Daniel. You have to be able to discern what is appropriate dress for a particular scenario. And again, that's socially constructed as well. It's like, for example, the thing that it's funny, man, in church, I would always hear this growing up. The question would be asked, if you went to the White House.
Really?
Yeah, I used to hear that all the time. If you went to the White House, would you wear that?
Why
Or
the
if you
White
went to the White
House?
House, would you do? Because that's, it
I
just
mean, I
in
know
terms of,
why, but
right, in vision, that's the highest you can go, right? And that again is a social construct. However,
right.
to a certain degree, I do agree. Obviously, if you are going to be in a business setting,
Yeah, I agree.
there's business attire. If you're
I
going to be in a
agree.
church setting, there's church attire. If you're going to be at the club, there's club attire, right? So I get that. Um,
Yeah, but when they said that, where were you going?
I don't even
You
remember.
know what?
I think,
I'm
yeah,
saying I'm sure that where you were going was not the equivalent of the White
yes,
House. Do
agreed,
you know what I mean?
agreed.
So,
I agree with that. I agree with that. Listen, we just literally, because my wife has had such a long day, we literally just wanted to throw that out there to see what people were going
mm,
to say. I think in the beginning of our marriage, to go back to the original question, is it okay for you to require that your spouse uh, adhere to a certain dress code? I think in the beginning, if I'm being honest with myself, I think in the beginning there may have been instances where I would have an issue. Now, holistically across the board, no,
yeah,
I'm not going to put that much energy into that.
but
There might have been
certain
certain
times.
scenarios where I would have been like, yeah, you know what? That's a little bit too much for me. Now, here's what's crazy though. I still don't know that I would have said anything
Really?
unless something happened that I deemed was inappropriate. Like
I
either
see.
either you got a response
Mm-hmm.
or the attention was too much and I had to step in and be like, "Hey, bruh, come on, chill out." Like
And then
that's,
you would be like, you can't wear that
and
anymore.
then I might have right. Then I might have said something.
Understandable.
Right.
Yeah.
Today, and I sometimes I feel bad for how lax.
It's not lax, I don't
I'm
think.
just using that for shock value. But sometimes I feel bad. I'm like, does that mean I don't care? But it doesn't mean I don't care. It doesn't mean I don't care. It's just that I'm just not gonna put energy behind that. Like
Energy. Yeah.
you can wear whatever. And listen, she can attest to this. There are things that I say that she can wear.
Not can.
Yeah, that she should wear. That's even a better word. There are things that I say that she should wear that she won't. And what's my response?
Something like everybody else is wearing it or something like that.
I'm like, man, people wear
Whatever
whatever
they
they
want.
want to wear.
Yeah.
And you ain't gonna look as crazy as they do. I can promise you that. People wear whatever they want to wear.
Yeah.
So do you. Like, I'm good. You know, do I trust my partner's judgment? Since my partner has good taste, I want her opinions on what I wear and I welcome her feedback. If you don't value your partner's opinion in that area, there may be some pushback. Yep, I agree with that. And that's how I am.
Yeah,
I'm usually like,
100%.
hey, does it look right? Don't look right? All right,
Yeah.
cool. I ain't gonna do it.
Yep.
If it look right, all right, cool. I'm gonna do it.
Yep.
And that's typically the extent of our conversation as it
Mhm.
relates to, and I'm not out here dressing. I don't even know how to dress provocatively. So I don't even know that applies to me. Like, I don't know how to dress provocatively. Outside of the sweatpants, there's absolutely nothing because I'm not out here in muscle shirts. I'm not walking around with my shirt off. Like, I don't show up to church, you know. I just don't, for me, I don't know that it even applies because I don't know what would I do to dress inappropriately.
You dress pretty provocatively for me.
I do.
To me. To
Oh,
me.
to you.
To me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that off air. We'll talk about.
Yeah,
I need a list of outfits so I can put them in heavy rotation. Listen, that's all we got.
That's literally all we got.
That's
I'm
it.
so tired.
If you're jumping in, go back and watch the replay. Would love to hear your thoughts on this. The shock value question that I asked was, is it okay for you to require your spouse to adhere to a particular dress code? I asked that question for shock value. Essentially, what I'm asking is, can you go in and be like, hey, that's too much? You should probably take that off.
Mm-hmm.
That's too little. That's too whatever the case may be. We got K Love in the house. What's up, K Love? Thank you for being here. New subscribe. Oh man, that's dope.
Oh, what's
Hope
up?
I don't know
Thank
if you can hear these because they're not working that well. But thank you. Appreciate you on that. Love the authenticity and how unafraid you guys are to tap into some sensitive and touchy subjects. I'm not married yet, but taking notes from mature couples like yourself if I ever do.
Thank you. I
That's
appreciate
love.
that.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you on that. And here's the thing, Kay. That's what this whole show is about on Saturday nights, because what we've discovered in our coaching sessions is that there are so many couples who don't have conversations
Mm-hmm.
about these things, but then these things come up and they react real heavy.
Yeah.
And that reaction causes some craziness to happen in their relationship. When you could just talk about it and learn each other. The thing we say often is that conversation is a catalyst for learning, catalyst for growth, a catalyst for bonding. So we got to have these conversations. They may not come up in your space right now, but you should at least know, right, what your partner thinks about these things. So that's dope. Thanks for being here.
Yep.
Yeah, for me, of course, it's not okay to require, because require sounds like control and manipulation.
Mm-hmm.
Can you make suggestions? Yes. I think you should make suggestions, because if you are concerned about your spouse and you want to love and protect your spouse, then yes, you should be able to make some suggestions around certain things. It's like the covering. You talk about covering your spouse often, right? Sometimes the covering dictates one person to say to the other, hey, listen, here's where we're going to be tonight. And that's probably going to put you in a position you don't want to be in.
Mm.
It's probably going to get too much attention. We're trying to relax. We're trying to do this. Just the energy around what this may create is probably not the right energy.
Yeah.
You look fantastic in it.
Mhm.
Fantastic. But that's the covering piece, right? So Daniel said, does it seem like society judge women's dress code more than men? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Mimi said, yes, indeed.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Without a doubt.
But I think that men's, I don't know if this is why, but I'm thinking because men's outfits are pretty much the same. Whereas women, you have the short skirts, you have
Mm.
the cleavage, you have the, it's a little different for women because their outfits are more versatile
Yeah.
than women's.
We as men, and when I say we as men, I'm talking about the men that are in the design space, right? We as men gave a voice to that level of attention
Yeah.
because we create stuff that garners that level of attention,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And then we judge you for getting the attention.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's why I said what I said earlier, that a lot of this is socially constructed.
Mhm.
And now that it's out there, because men are visual, and some women are too as well, but because men are visual, and we just talked about this just earlier when we were eating,
Mhm.
because men are visual and men have a reaction. That's a whole nother conversation that I'm not going to get into right now. But again, I'm going to go out on the limb to say that every man has a reaction. You may not see it. They may be disciplined enough to keep it to themselves, but every man has a reaction. And so because of that now, all of these rules and regulations around how they should dress
Mhm.
have to be a part of our existence.
Yeah.
And that's just me. I'm not this again, this show is not about advice. This is not coming from a coaching space or none of that. This is just me just off the top of the dome giving you my opinion,
Mm.
right?
I
K,
love Scott.
okay. Kay said, hear you both loud and clear. Your channel has also taught me how to better move around respectfully with the opposite sex and better understand the mindset of married men and women. Man,
Wow.
that's a blessing.
Thanks so much.
That's a blessing. We don't take that lightly. Thank you. And that's motivation for us to keep doing what we're doing. We appreciate you on that. When will you be going live again? So we go live
Every
for this show
Saturday
every
night,
Saturday
or
night.
most Saturday nights.
Most Saturday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But make sure you follow us everywhere on social media because starting in January,
We'll
Inside the
start our show
Relationship,
back up.
Inside the Relationship will start back up in January. We did one season of that and then kind of never returned to it. So Inside the Relationship is starting back up in January. We're also going to start back Coaching Chronicles in January as well. And we will also be starting back the Relationship Trade Secrets podcast. So the
Yeah.
podcast will also be starting back in January as well. So just keep an eye out for
Follow us and
yeah.
subscribe everywhere so you'll get the notifications.
Yeah, some more
or see the
opportunities
posts.
for us to do some things. I do some other stuff on LinkedIn with entrepreneurs and that kind of thing. That goes live every week as well. But in terms of the relationship stuff, follow us for that stuff that will be coming back in January.
Yep.
So listen, we're gonna get out of here. Like we say all the time, conversation is a catalyst for growth. It's a catalyst for learning. It's a catalyst for bonding, right? So, so listen, have a conversation. Mimi said y'all are doing great things. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Keep us in prayer as we continue to do what we feel like God is leading us to do. Daniel said, "Do you guys have more women followers than men?" Yes,
we do.
Yep.
Right? Yeah.
I try to get my wife to listen and watch the show with me, but she's showing less interest. I discussed the show with her afterward. And so to answer your question,
Understood.
yes. So when I look at the statistics, we're right around 70-30.
Hmm.
It's about 70% women, 30% men. That fluctuates up and down depending on the content.
Yeah.
But overall, the average is somewhere around 70-30 mark. And if she's not interested, bro, just
It's all good.
it's all good. Like, just, which, if you discuss it with her afterward and that helps you guys to have great conversation, then the job is done, right? So don't, I tell people all the time, and usually it's the other way around. Usually it's women asking me, how do I get my husband to get engaged? And I'm like, listen, you don't have to get him engaged. You just have to do what you know you should do to be the woman you know you should be, right?
Mhm.
And I'm gonna go to the Bible here with this, and Peter talks about how, the spouse can be won over, right?
Yeah.
So just hey, listen, do what you're doing, have the conversation. If it sparks great conversation and you guys get to learn about each other, then it's gravy.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's up? The Pruitts are in the house. What's up with
What's
the
up,
Pruitts?
fam?
So listen, let me ask, because I love Miss Humble's 5 comments, man. She be going in. So I don't know if you heard the question. The question was, and here's the shock value version of the question, and you can respond in the comments.
You already know what she's gonna say.
I know. Is it okay to require your spouse to adhere to a particular dress code for whatever reason? They getting too much attention, you don't like it, whatever the case may be. That's where we went today, just talking about dress code and that kind of thing. But thank you for being here. Shout out to the Pruitts. We always appreciate having you guys with us, every week, hanging out with us.
Yeah.
Listen, we're gonna get out of here. I'm gonna get her out of here so she can go to bed. She had a phenomenal weekend, which is actually not over, at a women's conference. She was the speaker to one of the speakers today.
Gathering, not a conference.
Gathering. It's called the Gathering. And she was one of the speakers today. And so, but you know what? Before we get out of here, let me do this. I got a great announcement to make. Fantastic announcement to make. Miss Humble 5 said it is not okay to require. I think it should be okay to ask.
Mhm.
And
Agreed.
we agree with that.
Yeah.
We agree with that. Let me make this quick announcement, and then I promise we will be getting out of here. Like I said that 10 times like I'm a pastor. We're gonna get out of here after this. My wife has one of 3 new releases. This is the first of 3 new releases coming, and it is a journal and planner for single moms.
So for those of you who don't who don't know, I was a single mother for 11 years before Ollie and I got married. And single mothers is just, just one of those passions that I can't seem to put down. I
Mhm.
can relate to them. I understand. Obviously, I can relate to them. I understand, a lot of what they go through. And so if I can help them in any way, I do. That was part of what I spoke about today at the weekend gathering, conference/gathering, but it's not a conference, it's a gathering. And so this is why I wanted to create this planner and journal. If I had a journal/planner when I was a single mother, it would have made my life and the lives of my children, my 2 daughters, a little bit more smoother, less chaotic. That's a little bit of a harsh word, but less chaotic because things would have been more in order. And so that's why I created the Dear Single Mommy Journal and Planner.
That is awesome, and
Thank you, babe.
I'm very excited. I am very excited for this. Again, this is one of 3 new releases, so stay connected with us. You're going to see 2 more coming from
Very soon.
my beautiful bride as well. So that is the first new release, the Dear Single Mommy Journal and Planner. Order this for a single mother that you know. You can pre-order them starting right now. Literally pre-ordering open tonight. So you can pre-order them by going to denali.org/shop and grabbing that. What are you about to say?
I was just going to say you can pre-order them tonight, and they will start shipping January
in
1st.
January. They'll start shipping in January. So that is the Dear Single Mommy journal and planner. Phenomenal journal and planner. I love it.
Thank
It is
you.
great. Denali.org/shop for that. Daniel, I saw your comment. Do me a favor, shoot me a message reminding me of this. I will send you a link to book a free discovery call session. So send me a message. I think you're on Facebook right now. So send me a message on Facebook and I will get that link over to you. So so you can get in some time with us. We would love to connect with you and have a conversation.
Yep.
All right, listen, so we're going to get out of here. Thank you so much for being a part of this. As always, you all make this show, right? The comments make this show. So thank you for being here. K Love said good night, Mr. and Mrs. Marcel. Looking forward to the future content. Hoping you speak to those of us preparing for marriage and give some advice and direction. Need folks like y'all to put us on game.
Thank you.
Indeed. Yes. So listen, now that you subscribe to the channel, go back and you can go back and, peruse the channel. There's probably about 300 videos on there of all kinds. Some of them are for singles as well.
But we do need to put something together for singles because people keep asking us.
Yeah, so. We'll put something specific together for that.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Hawkins in the house. Yeah, man, you got to go back and watch. You got to go back and watch the replay. Hey, bro, go back and watch the replay and then holler at me. Let me know what you think about it. Talking about dress code and can you require your spouse to adhere to a dress code? All right, we're gonna get out of here, fam. We love y'all. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Stay connected to us and look out for some things that are coming in January in the way of content. If you follow us already, you already know there's a plethora of content for you to look at on YouTube and on TikTok and some other places as well. So make sure that you check that out. All right, we're gonna get out of here. Have a fantastic rest of your Saturday night and have a great upcoming week. We will see you next week.
Good night, everyone.
Peace.